Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our gathering music. Come sing a song with me, number 346. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yay, good morning. A little bleak out, but it's sunny and warm in here. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Hillsboro, otherwise known as Ooch, and that place with the yurts. In this place with the yurts, we strive to be an open and welcoming congregation to all who seek a supportive community in which to examine life's big questions and challenges. Here we don't worship in one specific way each week, and we don't require that we all adhere to one specific creed or common belief. Rather, we are a community bound by covenants or promises we make to one another to be kind, loving, trustworthy, and open-minded as we collectively and individually engage in this lifelong quest for truth and meaning. By aspiring to live into these promises, a community of seekers and sages, we are all growing, all learning, all integral parts of this loving circle. So just as you are, and for whatever reason you came here today, you are welcome. So let's just take a moment, look around at all these beautiful faces and say good morning. Good morning. Well done, people. My name is Alison and I am the worship coordinator for today's service. As a lay-led congregation, we operate as a literal army of volunteers, each giving generously of our time and unique talents. We volunteers are corralled and supported by our paid staff, which includes Aviva, our music director, Amy, our program administrator, and Tessa, Annabelle, and Avery, our student interns. Though I think Annabelle is now officially an employee, she turned 18. Well, you're 18 too, aren't you? Oh my gosh, they grow up. The production of Sunday services is a coordinated effort of the worship team, which consists of, well, we're led by our wonderful leader, Aviva, but it consists of David Yelton, Linda Seligman, who couldn't be here today, Jenny Kiles, who I don't see, Carolyn Welty, and myself. I don't think I left anybody out.
Heather.
You skipped the meeting last month and now you're off the list. I'm so sorry, Heather. You are such an important anchor. And then she pulls Tristan into every meeting and makes him do stuff. But we have multiple other teams who all do really important work here. From everything from teaching the children to delivering meals to people and checking in on them to mowing the lawn. So if you have not found a way to get involved in our congregation yet, please think about how you might get involved. Serving on a team is the best way to get to know each other, have some fun, and feel even more connected to this wonderful community.
Yeah.
Amy, was that good enough? We aim to please Amy. So let's take a moment, though, and give a big thank you to everyone who makes UUCH this wonderful place. Yay! And I would also like to give a very warm welcome to the Reverend Alison Eskildsen. If you haven't had the pleasure of being in one of her services yet, I'm so glad you came today because you're in for a treat. She is the minister emeritus from a congregation in Athens, Georgia. She moved here to be with her grandsons, and she dabbles in all the communities in the area who are UU and just brings her wonderful, warm presence and sorry, that's going to be a big distraction, isn't it? But we're so happy to have you, and thank you for coming back, and we look forward to all the times you're going to be here in the future. And each Sunday after the sermon, we take up a monetary offering to support various justice causes in our community. For the month of March, our plate offering, 100% of it, goes to Orange County Justice United. Justice United is a power-building conglomerate of over 20 local nonprofits and faith institutions, of which we are just one. Justice United is currently working on affordable housing, mental health care access, and immigration. UUCH has been a core member of JU since 2012, and if you would like to know more about Justice United, please see me after the service. My husband, Steve, who's not here today, is the liaison between that group, and we would be happy to share more information with you about that wonderful organization and how you can participate. Before we actually create our sacred space, I'll just remind you that after the service, we do have coffee hour in the back. We hang out in the sanctuary and visit and get to know each other a little better, so I hope that you will consider staying. It won't be very nice to go out, I don't think. And please take a moment to look in your order of service. There are some announcements and important dates at the back of the order of service, but there's always a lot that's not. And so we take a moment for some announcements. And while we do that, make sure your phone is on silent or worship mode so that we don't interrupt the rituals and sermon.
Hi y'all, I'm Amy Dark, the program administrator here, and I have just a couple of announcements. First of all, the weather. We are keeping an eye on things. If there is a tornado warning, we will stop service and ask everybody to move into the hallway. Kim's gonna go grab all the owl kids out in the yurt. Children will be in the bathrooms. That's the most protected spot here. If you feel personally unsafe at any time, please get up and move into the hallway. But we're going to keep an eye on things. The second announcement is there's supposed to be a Buildings and Grounds team meeting after service today. Dave has some concerns about attendance, so if you are here for the Buildings and Grounds meeting, please see Dave Belt. after service to coordinate. I think that's all I have.
Amy, I have a question.
Yeah.
I can't remember the announcement about this piece, the new job it's supposed to do.
On the order of service.
Yes.
Yes. So we would like to start sharing joys and concerns in our weekly newsletter. If you have something that you would like to be published in the newsletter, you can tear off this bottom half of your order of service and you can write down your whatever it is and put it in the offering basket when it goes by, or add it to the basket, which will be on the altar after service. Make sure that you only share news that is yours to share. And please be mindful that our newsletter goes to more than just our little congregation. We have like 200 subscribers-ish, I think. So just be mindful of that.
Thank you. I forgot.
No, it's great.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm just noticing it says April 2nd finance team meeting on the back here. And actually in April, we're going to have finance meeting on the 16th because some people are going to be out of town because of spring break. So we have moved it, but it's usually on the first Wednesday of the month if you want to join finance committee. But this in April, it's going to be on the third Wednesday instead.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to make an announcement for Steve Mahaley, who is our leadership committee chair. He is looking for people to attend the General Assembly this year, which is happening in Baltimore. It can be done online fully, or if you want to cover your own travel, you could go. But we're looking to pay for tickets for people to experience that and then bring the news back to us. So if you're interested in attending the General Assembly, speak to Steve Mahaley about it. They would be delegates for this congregation. You would be anyone just said, I'm half asleep.
Just a quick clarification for anybody that's unfamiliar. General Assembly is when the broader UUA congregations come together and do the business of being a community, an organization. And so sometimes there are going to be items on the agenda that require voting. And so our delegates would go and vote on behalf of the wishes of the congregation. So it's a really important thing to do. And as a thank you, in addition to doing just the boring business, you get to attend days of really wonderful workshops and sermons and practices. And I really recommend it for anybody that's interested. So come see any member of the Governance Council if you're interested.
Okay, let's prepare ourselves for our time of reflection and celebration by reminding ourselves of who we are and why we gather. We are Unitarian Universalists. Unitarian Universalism draws from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Ari? Our chalice lighter this morning is Ari. Ari. I'm sorry, I have a niece named Ari. It's really hard. Thank you for telling me. Ari. Go ahead. By O. Eugene Pickett, an excerpt adapted. We give thanks for this day, for the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. We give thanks this day for the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its noble causes and sacred liberties. We give thanks this day for opportunities to change and grow, and for our faith lived out in word and deed.
Thank you, Alison, and good morning.
It's good to be with you again. To prepare ourselves for worship, which is to lift up what we hold to be of most worthy, our values, the things that we consider most important. That is to worship. And so to do that, we also have to take into consideration the context of what brings us into this space and to being together. And the context that we are currently living in, I'm sure to many of you, feels pretty chaotic. Maybe you're anxious. I know I am. And so it is good to come together in community when we're feeling a little anxious because it grounds us. As Alison said earlier, it grounds us in our values, what we hold to be most important, and to remind us of who we are and what is important to us. Whether you're here online or in person, each Sunday we come together to reflect on an idea, to help us understand the lives we're leading. We may seek a word of hope and a way forward. As we look to St. Patrick's Day tomorrow and to the spring equinox on Thursday, may the words we hear and the rituals we perform today strengthen our connections to each other and to the universe of which we are a part. And may our spiritual or religious imaginations richly inspire us to bring about the hope and change we desire. Let's begin by singing the spring version of number 73 in your gray hymnal, Chant for the Seasons. And it will be followed by a calling of the directions. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, and after our singing to remain so. Again, whether you're here or online, let us all turn and face the east, which is in that direction towards the door. It is the direction of the rising sun. So if you don't have your compass out, look to where the sun should have risen this morning. In the clouds. It did rise, whether we could see it or not. This ritual embodies our spiritual, life-giving connections to the sun and earth. Consider it a pilgrimage around earth and our place in the universe. May this act begin to open our hearts and minds to the cosmic mysteries that lie beyond words. And Alison will light a candle as we turn to each direction. Spirit of the East, an element of air, breath, and inspiration. With gladness, we lift our faces to greet the sun's morning light and deeply breathe in dawn's fresh air. We rejoice in the new beginnings each day offers. Let us turn to the right to face the south. Actually, yes, to face the south. Spirit of the south, an element of fire, heat, and transformation. With hope, we lift our faces to feel the sun's illuminating midday light and welcome its passionate fire. We rejoice in the growing energy it brings. Turn again to the right to face the west. Spirit of the West and element of water, healing and purification. In peace, we lift our faces to behold the sun's soft evening light and relax into earth's gentle waters. We rejoice in the soothing peace it grants. And now, one more turn to the right to face the north. An element, spirit of the north and element of earth, soil, and foundations. In trust, we lift our faces to gaze upon the night lights of the sun's sister stars, while maintaining our roots firmly below. We rejoice in the cosmic mysteries night conceals. And finally, let us turn back to where we began to face our chalice. Spirit of life, soul, and spark of the divine within. With love, we see our own shining light and embrace our inner strength. We rejoice in each person's unique nature found within our interdependent lives. With gratitude for these gifts, may our symbolic circle embrace us all. And now let us sing number 21 in the Gray Hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Since the last turning of the seasons, our congregation has expanded. 12 new members have found their way to UUCH this winter. They bring new ideas, new desires, new energies, new opportunities to us. Our covenant grounds us, but today it also resonates with new life. The following people have completed all the necessary requirements to become members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Hillsborough. It is with joy that I invite the following new members to please come forward. Beth Glenn. Yeah, go for it. Melissa Irons. Chris Smith.
Heather King, Donald Cotton, Elizabeth Evans Talley, Justin Talley, Ben Jenkins, Marcy Beach, Tammy Miller, Ginny Haddock, and Alan McBride.
Can I read yours?
Yes.
Pass this over to Alan.
I love this, you guys. Okay. I'm also the membership coordinator. A UU minister, Reverend George Beach, once said, "People don't join a covenanted community. Rather, they constitute it. There is no it without them. And each time new members join, the whole is literally reconstituted." So the very identity of UUCH has changed this season. You change us all by deepening our understanding of ourselves and our world. This is our shared, beloved, covenanted community, made new every time someone finds their way to us. Today, we are a new congregation, and we are grateful.
New members.
Hi.
Do you endeavor to contribute to the common good of this liberal religious community, to join in our work towards justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity? Do you intend to center love and to strive to be authentic and open with us as we all continue our spiritual journeys? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Will you, members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Hillsborough, welcome these folks into membership? Will you endeavor to support them on their spiritual journeys and work together towards justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity? Will you be open to hearing from our newest members and learning from their stories and experiences? Will you work with them to strengthen our congregation as we strive for a more just and peaceful world? If so, please say I will. I will.
Yay. Let's give each other the very best of our tradition, who we have been and who we are today. Let's celebrate together as we all share in the continual construction of this beloved community. Welcome to the new Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Hillsborough.
Let's get a picture. Everybody squeeze together. No, you're fine. Easy, easy. Yeah, you remember. Thank you. If you didn't get your swag, yeah. Please do.
Is there also a hat?
No, wait, we should do. There's a shirt. Look in the newsletter for the shirt. There's a shirt.
I just ordered a shirt this morning.
It's awesome.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. What a great joy. And speaking of which, sharing joys and sorrows is a special ritual included in our Sunday services. By taking time to share, whether spoken or unspoken joys, sorrows, concerns, or milestones, we strengthen the bonds between us. This ritual happens in two parts, and each one includes dropping a stone into the vase on the altar, symbolizing a metaphoric communal collection of our experiences. The first part of this ritual takes time for individuals to share out loud. Rest assured that we do not record or broadcast what is shared aloud, Therefore, those of you joining online will experience a short break while folks here come to the microphone. And if you are joining us online and would like your joy, sorrow, or milestone shared out loud with the room, please put it in the chat and tell us that you would like it read aloud, and we will drop a stone for you as well. If you choose to share aloud, please take a moment to center yourself and collect your thoughts. We gently ask that what you share this morning be personal, heartfelt, and brief. When you're ready, please come to the microphone over here, tell us your name, and share what's in your heart, and then come to the altar and drop a stone in the vase. sorrows remaining in your hearts. I invite you to come to the altar and release a stone into the vase while Aviva plays There Is a Love. After she plays it through once, we will join in singing this meditation song. The words are printed in your order of service. We hold all that has been shared, both spoken and unspoken, within the heart of this community. Let's spend a moment in silence as we consider how we might respond with warmth and compassion. We close this ritual by saying together, Amen, Amen. And blessed be. Blessed be. Do we have someone from RE coming up? Tell us what's going on besides a storm.
We're actually just doing a game day today. So if you would join in singing the kids off to fun with the children's blessing in the back of the great hymnal. Also in your order of service. Sorry, also in the order of service. I will remember that, I promise.
The first reading comes from Alexander Carmichael's Carmina Gadelica, or Hymns of the Gales, a 19th century collection of oral traditions, which includes oral traditions handed down through the generations of Scottish Highlanders. The anthology includes prayers, hymns, incantations, blessings, and folklore from Scotland's Gaelic-speaking regions. The following praises the sun's power, acknowledges the sun's role in controlling the days and seasons, and poetically names the sun mother and maiden. Hail to thee, thou sun of the seasons, as thou traverseth the skies aloft. Thy steps are strong on the wings of the heavens. Thou art the glorious mother of the stars. Thou liest down in the destructive ocean without impairment and without fear. Thou risest up on the peaceful wave crest like a queenly maiden in bloom. The second reading is a brief excerpt from an article titled Use of Imagination in Religious Experience by the Reverend Dr. F. Thomas Trotter. He writes, "My premise is the suggestion that what we call imagination is a central ingredient in any religious experience, and that the proper uses of imagination save religion from being either a mere system of rational statements on the one hand, or an unsystematized melange of experiences on the other. My definition of imagination is this: it is the act of making images that convey through their shapes, form, and emotional authority a power of reality that lies in the heart of things. In a real sense, the principal use of imagination is to inform and vitalize human life." And finally, a brief excerpt from Rachel Carson's book, The Sense of Wonder. "If I had influence with the good fairy who is supposed to preside over the christening of all children, I should ask that her gift to each child in the world be a sense of wonder so indestructible that it would last throughout life, as an unfailing antidote against the boredom and disenchantments of later years, the sterile preoccupations with things that are artificial, the alienation from the sources of our strengths."
I imagine you have probably heard the quote from Albert Einstein. "There are only two ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle. The other is though everything is a miracle." I see some nodding heads. Einstein chose to see the world not as ordinary, but as something filled with wonder, filled with questions to be explored and answered. Imagination, he believed, was critical to discovering new truths. Imagination was essential in opening doors to new ideas and understanding. I hope we can open some of imagination's spiritual doors this morning. For like Reverend Trotter, I believe imagination is a central ingredient of all religious experiences. It is our imagination that transforms mundane events or objects, like a candle in a cup, into something more, something sacred or symbolic, like a flaming chalice. It is our imagination which gives the sun the qualities of mother or maiden, as in the Scottish praise poem. When I was young, a tangled woods separated my backyard from the Saugatuck River in Connecticut. For many years, the leafy trees and flowing river invited me into their wild spaces to ramble and play. I cherish my childhood memories of living so close to untamed nature. I especially recall imagining that winged fairies inhabited my woods. I created little fairy houses by placing soft grasses and clover flowers at the base of tree trunks, where gaps in the wood suggested an entrance to a fairy home. I was sure my actions would please the hidden folk. On some level, I may have known fairies weren't likely to visit me, or that I was just pretending that they existed. Nevertheless, the wild woods suggested a place where wondrous things could happen. Believing these elusive creatures would show themselves to me enriched my world. My imagination filled me with a sense of wonder and possibility that's lasted a lifetime, as Rachel Carson hoped. Although I wouldn't have said so then, I can say now that my imaginings were my early spiritual experiences. To my everyday rational existence, I layered on top, like icing on a cake, something wondrous, something that made the world more beautiful and marvelous. Neil Van Leeuwen of Florida State University studies the philosophy of the mind together with anthropology, neuroscience, and psychology. He discusses this layering in his 2023 publication, Religion as Make-Believe. In the book, he claims that our brains process religious belief like how they function during pretend or imaginative play. He suggests our sense of reality operates on two levels, one layered upon the other. The first is the level of mundane reality, the physical world we navigate every day. The second places the imagined world on top. This second layer can give ordinary objects and events imagined sacred or supernatural significance, as Reverend Trotter claimed. Our layered sacred imaginings cannot be empirically proved, like we can fact check that the earth is round. They lie beyond logic and our five senses. Imagination forms a bridge connecting our physical reality with our non-physical, spiritual, or religious reality, and where we make meaning out of our experiences. Saying religion is like make-believe isn't intended to diminish the value or meaning particular beliefs hold for us. We may not equate belief in a supernatural God with belief in fairies, but our brains function, process those ideas the same, according to Van Leeuwen. Our personal theologies or views about God, creation, souls, and more give meaning and purpose to our lives because they help us understand life and death, joy and sorrow. If you believe in a supernatural God who intervenes in human affairs, then you may see God's metaphorical hand everywhere. If you believe in a natural materialist world, then your reality will be based on the laws of nature, whether known or unknown. If your beliefs fall between these two poles, your reality will reflect that. As a child, more real to me than biblical versions of God were stories of trickster leprechauns, winged fairies, shapeshifter selkies, and other fantastic creatures popular around St. Patrick's Day. Celtic myths fed my imagination and widened my realm of possibility. Ancient Celtic tribes once lived across nearly all of Europe, but much of continental Celtic culture was subsumed by the expanding Roman Empire in the last few centuries before the Common Era. Today, due to their relative isolation, the people of Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Cornwall, and a few smaller remote areas remain identifiably Celtic in indigenous language and culture. Historical and archaeological resources from those lands inform our knowledge of Celtic religious beliefs and practices. Before the arrival of Christian monks like Patrick in the 4th and 5th centuries, Celts considered earth sacred and animated with spirit. They walked through a landscape that was alive with significance. Communal stories, myths, and memories gave sacred import to Earth's water, land, and sky, including all forms of life, biological, botanical, and astronomical. Irish Celts, for example, imagined the sun as the god Lu and the earth as the goddess Ire. Each day they danced together, and each night Lu lay down beside Ire to sleep. This myth envisions the sun and earth as deities whose daily rhythms ordered and sustained their lives. Ire gives her name to Ireland. On a parallel plane to the visible world, Celts believed in an invisible other world, where minor deities and spirits of the dead resided. The other world was everywhere around us, and interactions could occur at any time and place. But this most often occurred during transitions, such as when one year ends and another begins, or where meadow meets forest, or water meets land. At these insecure liminal junctures, where the veil between worlds is deemed thin, spirits could cross into the mortal world, and the living could be taken into the other world. Celtic scholar John Philip Newell writes in Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul the following. In Celtic wisdom, the sacred is as present on earth as it is in heaven, as immanent as it is transcendent, as human as it is divine, as physical as it is spiritual. The sacred can be breathed in, tasted, touched, heard, and seen as much in the body of the earth and the body of another living being as in the body of religion. It is the true essence of all life. Can you imagine a sense of the sacred so present it permeates every breath you take, every sense? To experience this, I went to Ireland on a pilgrimage to ancient Celtic spiritual sites. While there, my spiritual imagination gifted me with an extraordinary, unexpected blessing at a holy well. Holy wells spring forth naturally and miraculously from underground. Most often dedicated to a patron deity or saint, people come to the wells for a blessing, healing, or simply to commune with the well spirit. Pilgrims toss in small coins or even pins to silver the water and receive a blessing. Surrounded by a stone wall, my small pilgrimage group arrived at St. Cerny's Holy Well in County Galway. As we entered the space within the wall, a reverential hush fell over us. Following tradition, we walked sunwise, clockwise, around the well 3 times while singing the words in Gaelic, "Open my heart, unskull ma cree." And asking to open our hearts, we were asking God, the universe, the local spirit, or our own souls to open up to the spiritual energy of the place. After circling, we each took a silent turn kneeling down to dip our hands in the well's water. I was unprepared for what happened when I touched the water. A visceral charge went up my arm, from my submerged fingers, and into the rest of my body. And in that moment of physical connection to the water, I had a vision. I imagined myself journeying deep down into the spring, to the heart of the earth and the water's source. I saw that great underground river connecting all Earth's water as one. In an instant, I felt connected to water everywhere. I felt the life force of the water and of Earth herself. In response, I silently gave thanks for that vision and withdrew my hand. This momentary connection shifted the experience from my rational head to my spiritual heart. My vivid physical connection to Earth became a deep spiritual experience of oneness. In the words of German theologian Rudolf Otter, I had that fearful and fascinating experience of the numinous. the Mysterium Tremendum. Perhaps you've had a similar experience of connection or oneness where you felt your sense of self dissolve into something larger, something you can't articulate easily. How you understand that experience and the meaning you give it is informed by that second layer of reality, your imagination. Celts might imagine it as a numinous experience with the other world. We too can imagine a spiritual quality all around us if we choose to remove the veil from our eyes. We can imagine feelings of awe and wonder as recognizing the presence of the holy or sacred. Science explains the wonders of our world, but our religious or spiritual beliefs give those wonders deep meaning. They are the icing on the cake of life. As a religious naturalist, my rational mind dismisses the idea of supernatural gods and spirits. But my spiritual mind embraces the poetry and symbolism of an animated world that holds mysteries I can't fully comprehend. My imagination allows me to experience a holy well, a beautiful sunset, and a diamond-studded starry night, scientifically and spiritually. In an interview with Celtic Life magazine, Newell addressed this marriage of science and spirit and its potential to transform us. He said, "I think very, very close to the heart of my sense of spirituality is that it's a way of seeing the spiritual at the heart of the material, or seeing spirit within all matter, a way of seeing that translates into action, a vision of reality that can, at this urgent time of need in humanity's journey, move us back into loving earth and loving the true essence of one another. I think it's that love that is the fire of real transformation and change. So I see spirituality as articulating a way of seeing, and articulating that leads to compassionate action." We live in a time of environmental degradation and human suffering. We could love Earth and each other more. We could increase our real connection to and interdependence with Earth. If imagining Earth as a goddess, a hill as a home to a fairy, or the Hebrew God as the source of creation, well and good. These religious or spiritual ideas could lead us to end our materialistic destruction of Earth and each other. Our imaginations can re-enchant the world with new hope and a new sense of wonder. As Irish author William Butler Yeats said, quote, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." May our senses grow sharper as the earth around us turns green with springtime joy and new life. May it be so.
Thank you so much. As I said earlier, our offertory today goes to our community partner, Orange County Justice United. Please donate by placing cash or check in the offering basket. And if by check, please write the word plate in the memo line, or you can go on our website and donate online. Please choose plate. You can also use the QR code in the order of service. So very many ways to give. And thank you for your generosity. offering a blessing for the offertory. The words are printed in your order of service. For the love that surrounds us this morning, for the beauty of today, and for the generous gifts just received, let us be truly grateful. To close our service, which I'm sorry is running a little late, I share these words by the late Irish poet and theologian John O'Donoghue. When our eyes are graced with wonder, the world reveals its wonders to us. When the imagination awakens, the inner world illuminates. We begin to glimpse things that no one speaks about, that the outer world seems to ignore. May our eyes be graced with wonder. May our imaginations awaken and illuminate our inner world. May it be so, and blessed be. Before we rise for our singing, I release from this sacred space the spirits of the East, the South, the West, the North, and the symbolism that they hold for us. If you'd like to extinguish our flames at our stations. With gratitude, we open our circle, created earlier. Now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to number 163. Please join me as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace, my friends, and blessed be. Stay safe and dry.